Hi guys, my name is Claudia. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create this super cute, glamorous, and easy look. It makes it look like you took forever doing your makeup, but really it took like 10 minutes and it's really easy and it's very clean. I know my husband likes these type of looks, so keep watching if you guys want to see how I got this cute look that'll make you feel bomb.com when you're feeling like crap. Girl, I got you. Just don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another video with me, and keep watching. The first thing that you're going to want to do for this look is you're going to want to moisturize your face or prime your face. So I like to moisturize with Cetaphil. This lotion, it is very lightweight. It has no scent. It's very, very hydrating, and also it's recommended by dermatologists. I know it says it on the bottle, but it actually really was recommended to my husband when he used to have acne back in like those high school days. So when he saw the lotion that I was using, he's like, oh, that's a good lotion. So yeah. Okay, once you have that on, I like to even bring it down to my neck, put it on my hands. Put it on my hands because it feels so good. And next I move on to my brows. And let me zoom you guys in a little bit. So now that I have you guys zoomed in real closely and you guys are able to see, we're gonna move on to the next step, which is the eyebrow. Currently I'm using this one by CoverGirl, and I really like it. It's in the color Rich Brown. So I like to brush my eyebrows up first, and then I like to outline the bottom of my brow with the pencil. So all the way across as far as I would like. And then I like to do the same thing to the top of the brow, but I like to start about 2/3 of the way. So just bring that down. I just follow my natural shape of my brow, so it's a little easier for me. And then as you saw, after I line it, I like to blend it out with the brush. And this part here, I like to blend it upwards. And if I'm gonna go with the natural brow, that's pretty much it. However, if I'm gonna go a little bit more dramatic, I will darken it on the tail of the eyebrow. So over here. And just fill it in really nicely, evenly. And then a little bit on the inside. There we go. So that's how I do my brow. So same thing to the other side. And I like to start with my brows because the brows frame your face. So once I get that down, I feel like I could just leave the house with this, or I just feel like I have a good start on my makeup. So you just fill that in. And remember, this is a fast, mommy on the go, gotta get to work, gotta get to do whatever I gotta do type of look. So it's not something so precise. So that's how I like to do my brows. So the next thing that I like to do after that is I like to get my foundation on. And the one that I'm currently using is this one by L'Oreal. It's the Infallible Pro Matte. I use the shade 105. And I like to go in with the Real Techniques sponge. Also, I don't like to go in with just a dry sponge. I like to use a moistened damp brush, or I like to go in with a dampened sponge. So I just wash it in the sink, rinse it out real good, and that's what I'm left with, so that's what I use. So the way that I like to apply my makeup, usually when I'm like running in a hurry, I like to dot it on, just like that. And then I like to start on one side, where I kind of just like brush it in and even out the makeup. And then I move on to the other side. Into my nose. And I actually have a lot on, but that's why I like the sponge, because it absorbs some of the makeup. So I move on to another spot of the sponge, and then I start to pat it. And the sponge will then absorb the excess makeup. Okay, and this part is the difficult part because of the eyebrows that we just did. So just really carefully. And then sometimes here, because of the brows are so messy, I like to grab a flat brush and just clean the edges around the brows, so that way it is not messed up. So you just want to blend that out really nicely until you get a nice even surface. Okay, so step number 3, I like to highlight, and I'm using this one by Maybelline. So of course, I know you guys see this everywhere, but you want to do kind of like a triangular shape underneath your eye. And then you should be able to feel like this cheekbone. That's where I like to stop. So this whole hollow part underneath your eye is where you want to get that in. And then you have the tip of your nose you want to highlight. Sometimes I'll highlight this, but for the sake of the video, I'll do that. And if you want to get a super glam look, just put a little bit on your forehead. It really will give you a more of a glamorous look. And here as well. And your cupid's bow and the bottom of your and in the center of your chin. So you want to highlight all of the center parts of your face and the hollows of your eyes, and that'll give you a much more brightened look. So back again with the sponge. Pat that in and blend it out. So it's like a fast way of applying my primer without putting too much. Next, I go back with the flat brush and I even this out, make sure I get a good base on my lids. And then one more time, I like to pat that out. So while I have everything here drying, I like to move on to my next step, which is setting my face. And currently I've been using the Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is the original formula, You can get this at Walmart and it is, I believe, less than $5. And it is actually pretty good quality. It'll give you a nice smooth effect. So again, with the dampened sponge, you're gonna get some powder out and apply it onto your sponge like this. So then, this is the first place I like to set my makeup because it's where I have the most insecurities because of my dark circles, my puffy under eyes, and the little wrinkles that I am starting to get. So, get a little bit more. And then, after I get that area set, I like to set my lids also with that. And what I do then is I go and I grab a fluffy brush and I clean this up here. I like to just smooth it out so that it is nice and even and evenly distributed. And the next thing that I like to do is I like to bronze my face and add a little bit of color to my lids. Okay, so this is my favorite bronzer at the moment. And I like to go in with a tapered brush like this. So I like to go in with this bronzer and I like to just keep it like on my cheekbones. Bronze my face. It's kind of like a lazy way of doing contouring. So I like to contour on my cheeks. This one got a little bit messed up. And yes, I still haven't done anything to the... Okay, so I like to bring it up to my forehead on the edges here. And then bring it down a little bit to where you're creating the 3 or the backwards E. And this gives you some good color, kind of natural, and you want to blend as much as possible. I also like to go in with this fluffy angled brush from Morphe with the same bronzer, and I like to contour my nose a little bit also. I have a pretty wide nose, so I like to create a smaller illusion. And then sometimes I go in with a big brush like this just to really fluff it out, and I kind of squeeze the edges to where it's thinner. And that way I could blend it out really nicely. Okay, and then just real quick with this Holy Grail Super Dirty Modern Renaissance palette, I like to go in with the color Burnt Orange and Raw Sienna. Raw Sienna, obviously they're my favorite colors. They're pretty much gone. I have to pick up a new palette. I like to go in with a fluffy brush like this. And I like to go in with the color Burnt Orange first. And I put this in my crease. So where you feel the hollows of your eyes, I like to put that there. And then just blend that out with circular motions like this. and also windshield wipe the edges. I like to bring it to the outer V, like that. And then with the flat eyeshadow brush like this, I go in with raw sienna, which is a little bit more of a cooler brown, and I put it on the lids of my eyes. Next is I like to carve out my cheekbones and kind of do more of a contour look. So I get more of the powder. Onto my sponge. And then I create this white looking beard. What this does is it creates a sharp edge here, and it cleans up that contoured look. I like to do it to my nose because it gives me a skinnier nose. Skinnier nose for cheap. And then I never cleaned off my under eyes, but that's okay because that's the last thing that I like to do. I like to set that, let that set. I like to let that set, and then during this time I will apply my mascara and whatever product I'm wearing on my lips. So another thing that I like to do before I finish off this actually is I like to put the remainder of the eyeshadow underneath my eye just to kind of warm up the eye look a little bit. Okay, after we let that sit for a little bit, I like to then wipe off all the flour. I'm joking. Wipe off all the flour and kind of distribute it like here on the forehead where we really didn't put any. Clean it off here, here. So I like to take off the makeup that I have on my lips with the makeup remover wipe. I like to use this lip gloss by Maybelline in the Vivid Hot Liqueur collection. It is in the color 62 Charmer, and it's a very nude. So it's a nude color that is gorgeous. I think this color will fit any skin tone. So just gonna apply some mascara. This one is from L'Oreal. It is a telescopic carbon black. My favorite part. Highlight. I'm using this one. I'm using this highlighter palette from Anastasia. It is the Sun Dipped one, and it comes with 4 different shades. I like to use this one in the shade Moonstone, which is kind of like a pink champagne color. It is my favorite. It's my favorite one because I noticed that it tends to blend in really nicely with my skin color. It gives me a natural glow. Doesn't that just look like my skin is like a little wet and glistening a little bit? But a good type of glisten. Not a stinky sweat. And then I like to put it on my nose here, just on the tip, because I don't like to put it on the bridge of my nose because I feel like it puts too much attention onto my nose, and like I said, I don't really like my nose because it's kind of wide, and I just like to blend that out there. And also in the inner tear duct of my eyes. I like to use this small little blending sponge because it tends to pick up a good amount of the highlight, and it's very precise. Okay, so this is my completed look. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. It's really fast and simple, and it gives you a really good glow. It makes you look like you tried really hard, and even though it's not too difficult, you look really good, right?